Hi folks, let's review the Cartesian plane before we get practicing. So this is a grid system where you can plot coordinates. It's a little bit different from our longitude and latitude that we've done with our mapping. We're still using the grid and we have different vocabulary words that we need to learn. So this one here, let me just switch to the highlighter. This line here is our x-axis. So we need to remember that when we are given a coordinate, the horizontal line represents our x number, whereas the line that goes vertically here, that's our y-axis. And where the two axes meet, in the middle here, it's important that we know that that is called the origin. So let me just write that here. The origin coordinates will be known as 0 and 0. So when we're reading coordinates or plotting coordinates, we'll always kind of start with our focus point at the origin, and then we'll move from there. When we see a set of coordinates, the first number is going to be representative of the x-axis, and the second value will be the y. And we usually see them in brackets, but you'll sometimes see them in a table of values. As you practiced with your other video, if I had a positive 2 and a 4, that would be represented as 2, 4. So I would start at my origin at 0, 0 here, and I'd move positive, which if I look carefully at these numbers, I can see that there's little negatives on this side of the x-axis and positives over here. And if I look up on the y-axis, I have positive numbers and negative numbers below. And this is where I've noticed that students have troubles. If I gave you a value here and I didn't put those numbers on there for you, you might have to label them yourself. So you need to know that it starts at 0 in the middle, and then as you move out, it increases. And as you move out left, it's getting increasingly smaller. So we have to think that take away 1 is actually not so bad. It's right here. And then take away more is increasingly smaller. So we have like positive 1 here, negative 1, and it ever increases as you're moving away from the origin. So if I had 2, 4, I would start at the origin and I would move positive 2, and that's on the x-axis. So I moved 2 here in this direction, and then I need to move up 4. And once I've done both of those things, I could plot that coordinate, and that would be 2, 4. When we're in grade 6, we'll be using this quadrant here, just like the other video showed us. So this is quadrant 1. Then we have quadrant 2 over here, quadrant 3, and quadrant 4. My little Roman numerals, a little bit sloppy, but it's okay. And we'll be working with positive numbers in grade 6, but I'd like to challenge you to use all 4 coordinates once you get your practice in and you can see what that's all about. I wanted to show you another coordinate that sometimes gets us stumped, and it wasn't on the last video, so here we go. If I had 0 and positive 5. The 0 would be our x, our horizontal line. So I'd start at the origin here, and I would move 0 direction. So I would not move right at all. I'm going to stay at the 0. That's my x. Then I have to look to see what the y is, and the y is 5. So I have 0 movement horizontally, and I move up vertically 5. So my plot could be right on this line here, and that would be 0, 5. If I had a dot, a coordinate placed for me, and I was asked to find the coordinates, I'd have to use some thinking. So here I go. I'd have to go start at the origin, and I'd say, okay, well, I moved horizontally on the x-axis all the way over to 8. So that's the first coordinate. And then I moved up vertically all the way to the 5. So if I was showing that work, I moved all the way to the 8, and then I moved up 5, because I have the 5 there. So that green dot would be 8 on the x-axis and 5 on the y-axis. Okay, so we're going to be working in our first quadrant to begin.